All right, so one of the things I wanted to talk about was this concept which was introduced to me in one of my art classes. It was actually a drawing class, and the basically the concept that they said was that my instructor said was when you're drawing something, like if you're looking at a model and you're drawing it or something like that, you should never be thinking in the context of I'm working on the whatever. You should never name the thing that you're working on. You should never say like like somebody says, "What are you drawing?" Well, I'm drawing a person. And this is the foot. Don't ever say this is the foot, or never think to yourself this is the eyelid, or this is the eyelash, or this is the nose. Don't ever think about things like that. You just I see a line here. I'm following this line. This line has this texture to it. It's this sharp. It's this soft. It's this broad. It's this narrow. It's this dark, it's this light, it's this hue, it's that hue. You can think about things like that, but never think what is the thing that you're doing. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up wasn't really to talk about form, which is what that was actually introduced in the concept of, but rather to talk about the subject of color. Um, Early on when I started painting, one of the very first things that somebody told me when they were looking over my work is that I need to really focus on understanding color, working with color theory and really getting a grasp of color. And it really kind of amounted to the same exact thing that I learned later about form, which is that when you're painting something, you have the option to go to the art store. You have a whole range of different colors of paints to choose from. And so you tend to think, well, I'm painting this or I'm painting that, and this is this color, and that is that color, and you buy that color, or you buy this color, so because you're painting that thing. And this is a huge mistake that I see a lot of painters make. You know, of course, it depends on your style. For my style, this was a big mistake. So here's how I want to illustrate that. Say, for example, if you wanted to paint something that was black, something that is the color black, okay? Well, there's a huge problem with using the color black to paint. And the reason why is because there's nothing that actually appears black. Even something that is black doesn't actually appear black. And that actually applies to every single color under the rainbow. No matter what color something is, that's not what color that thing is in a painting. And it's very important to understand that, and it comes back to the same concept of if you're not painting a foot, you're painting a line, you're painting a shade, you're painting a transition, you're painting a softness, you're painting those things. You're not painting a form, you're not painting a color. But you're using form and color to represent the thing that you're painting. So that's what's very important to understand. What do I mean when I say there's no such thing as black, and you should never use black to paint something that is the color black? What I mean by that is that everything that you see, whether it be form or a colored form or anything, is an experience that you're having due to a reflection of light. Light is striking something and reflecting back into your view. And the sensory receptors in your eye are picking that up. They're interpreting that into something meaningful. So sometimes, you know, you might be seeing light, okay, but usually what you're seeing is an object which is being illuminated by light. So, well, the thing about that is that light itself has color. So when light strikes something, it carries the image back to your eye, flavored with the color of the light that struck it. Now, I know some people would say, well, okay, there's white light. White light is, you know, it's not going to have any color in it. Well, all of this is nonsense. And I really want to illustrate that by bringing up something that Leonardo da Vinci actually said. And he was the first person to point this out to me in my readings and my studies. And he talked about reflective light and the importance of reflective light in depicting realism. And so, and I experimented with this a lot, and I learned so much about color just with that one statement. So, for example, one of the problems I was having, where this all kind of came to a head, was, you know, I was painting portraits, so I would deal with things like skin you know, and the color of skin. And you know, I would make the novice mistake of saying, you know, I'm in the art store, I'm looking through all the different colors or whatever. I'm like, oh, where's the skin color? Okay, there's no such thing as a skin color. There are ways that you can say you can have a concept of what a skin color is, and you can say there is a recipe, a color recipe that you can use to navigate toward that. But all of this is a mistake. You should never have a concept of there is a skin color, and that's the color that you use when you're depicting skin. This all goes back to the same thing. You never name the thing that you're painting and then paint by concept. You always paint by observation. That's what painting is. Painting is something that you observe and you paint by observation. Like music is something that you hear and you should play by ear. So it's all the same concept. You don't play an A, for example. You play the sound which is referenced by the note we call A. Okay. So when you're dealing with color and you're dealing with an object which has a color and light is striking that and revealing that to you, because obviously if no light was striking it, it would be in the shadows and you might see a form there, but you would have no clue as to what color it is. You have the clue of what color it is because light is striking it and the light has color. What does that mean? So if you have a white light striking something and yet I'm saying it has color, what does that mean? Well, Leonardo da Vinci pointed out this. He says that all adjacent objects which have color reflect their color to other adjacent objects, you know, in their proximity. So, for example, I have a wall next to me which is like a lime green. Well, like a granny apple green or something like that. I have what is essentially kind of a reddish brown leather chair, and all these things have not only color to them, but they also have a different texture, and the texture of those things also reflects light very different. I have a black shirt on, black. Okay. Uh, Now all these things, and I have a window over here which has that quote unquote white light. I have no ambient lights on in the room right now, which would normally be about 2700K, which is kind of a yellowish hue. But this is a white light, and that usually comes across, which is about 5000K. Usually kind of leans toward a bluish hue. It's not even white. But anyway, all these things are going to color the different sides of my face, which are essentially, you know, it's covered in skin, and skin is a multi-hue thing in itself and everything, but I'm not going to get into that. But my point is that this side of my face is no different really from this side of my face as far as color is concerned, with the exception of the fact that the objects over here are different than the objects which are over here. And so in the object here, I mean, yeah, I've got a beard, I have a facial hair, and this is going to interfere with everything. But you can use your own models to explore what I'm talking to you about. That the white light's going to hit this wall, it's going to come over here, it's going to color my face a certain way. The brown chair, the white light's going to hit that, it's going to carry with it a brown reflective light into this side of my face. My black shirt is going to carry an actual black reflection into this side. You can do these experiments. And this will carry a white reflection, everything, and we call those highlights, okay, by the way. Really, it's the white reflection, okay? You can call anything a highlight. It's just the intense reflection of the colored light source from that direction. So the highlight will take on a color. Okay, so that's what I wanted to explain, the importance of not naming the thing that you're painting, not thinking in the concept of the thing that I'm painting is such and such color and being distracted by that. So, you know, and as much as I'd really like to get into the concept right now of which tubes of paint to buy in a paint store because it lends into this, that would go on for a little while, so I'm going to refrain from that. So we're going to stop here.